Hey guys, and welcome to episode 6 of the building series of this Stuk. We are nearing completion, and after this episode, there will only be one final episode left. Today, we are going to tackle the access ports for the gearbox as well as the engine deck of our Stuk. And there are going to be a couple of surprises down the road, but I guess see for yourself. And here we go. This is the front glacis plate with the access hatches for the gearbox for basic maintenance. If they had to change the gearbox, they had to disassemble this entire glacis and take it off to access the gearbox and replace it if something broke down. This right here is the protection for the vision port of the driver. Shrapnel protection, basically. You can actually model or build these hatches open. Problem is, there's no gearbox underneath and just an empty hull top, so it would look rather weird if you leave them open. So I of course closed them down. And at that point in the build, I still hadn't figured out whether or not I could put everything together in the end without larger issues or problems. But you'll see within this video how I'm trying to gather enough information so I can say what I have to do in order to complete this. The hatches actually come with some exterior detail that the instructions tell us to take off, so that's what I'm doing here. Taking off the surface detail on the hatch, sending it away. Because the part is then going to be replaced, or the surface detail is going to be replaced with a photo etch part. Same here, taking off the surface detail, sending it away, scratching it away with our hobby knife so that we can then replace it with a photo etch part. I decided to put it in place first and then add the photo etch part later, which I think is just as fine as applying the photo etch first and then putting the hatch down. But this way at least I had it secure and could then, well, I would then have more control over the photo etch part. And since I'm not the best photo etch worker, I'd say, I decided that would give me the best opportunity or best method to apply those two pieces. Had to reset the music on my phone there for a second, because when I do this, I either watch YouTube videos, films, or just listen to music. And my super glue got a little clogged. I just use a needle to clean the bottle cap there, the bottle nozzle, to remove the super glue, and then just use the same needle to apply the super glue to the areas where you need it. Here the photo etch parts would not do what I told them or what I was trying to get them to do. They were a bit tricky to work with, but overall, here we go, photo etch parts assembled. So now that the access ports or access hatches for the gearbox are done and the glacis is done, we can now tackle the engine deck. And the instructions are really vague with regards to the engine deck. They tell you to put the mounts for the towing cables in place. The problem is there are no holes in the engine deck, the plastic part, where you can put them. And there are no measurements to tell you how far away from the corners of the part you should put them. So I just decided I will just leave them off. So all I do here is put the hatches on, and right now we're building the swivels for the hatches. And then I put the hooks on that were designed for the entire engine deck to be removed when they had to access the engine. There are a total of 12 of these hinges here. Very careful not to fling them around your room. I've done that with previous builds, then had to cover up the area where I was missing one, which isn't the best thing to do, and I didn't want to like add a tarp over the back of this. Because come on, it's getting old, me adding tarps to builds because I screwed them up. Problem with me when I build stuff is normally I speed up too much and I'm not careful enough, and thus I kind of mess up things, and then I have to go back and repair them and add things to cover up my boo-boos. But yeah, you see some of those issues here within these videos, and you can actually see them. I'm looking at the finished build right next to me, and yeah, you can see where I messed up and where I started to be quicker than was necessary. And yeah, thank you for watching this video, and if you've been around so long, please leave a like, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel. Helps out a lot. Thank you. So here we are building the access hatches. I think the back ones are the ones for the cooling system and the radiators, whereas the bigger ones are the ones for the actual engine. I think the right rear one is for the coolant, and the right rear left one is for water and stuff like this, and oil. And the big ones are for the engine. If I remember correctly, this actually has like a Maybach, I don't know the exact number here, but a Maybach engine, and that's a big engine. Takes up a lot of space. Just a heads up to those of you who are watching this video, I have started a survey on the community page of my YouTube page, where I asked whether or not you guys want to see me actually do this kind of video with regards to painting and weathering this exact Stug. So if you'd like, you could go on there and just participate in the poll, and then once the final episode of this is released, I will then look at the results, and then I'll tell you whether or not, and if so, when exactly we will be doing this. Because I think that after these 7 episodes of building this thing, I need to take a break from this and just focus on another build. Maybe take the Panther of the Shelf of Doom or something. Here we have the air intakes, and for some weird reason I did not actually glue on the metal protective, what's it called? I'm at a loss for words right now. The metal screen that goes over the top that just like protects them from shrapnel and grenades. I did not glue them on in this episode for some weird reason, and I did this in the final episode, which is going to be a bit longer again because I just had so much left to do because there were some small things that I just had skipped for some weird reason, and that I then had to tackle in this last episode. So the next one is going to be a bit longer again, whereas this one is going to be like roughly 15 minutes. So almost there, only 4 more minutes till we can complete this video. Now here I'm actually building the hooks that were supposed to allow the engine deck to be lifted for access of the entire engine and maybe even engine replacement. If I sound tired in any way, shape, or form, I just came home from school and I'm a bit knackered, so excuse my more or less tired voice. And here I am just confused because it shows me a part that actually is not anywhere in the spruce, or it doesn't tell me to put on. The thing is, it's already on the superstructure but never was glued there. It's just part of the superstructure or the hull tub, and that's what confused me so much. So yeah, that's what I used this Sharpie there to highlight. It's just confusing. Every now and then the instructions just get confusing. And it's even going to get worse in the next episode, I can already promise you that, because I for 1 second there thought that Dragon was just severely messing with me before I realized that I was just stupid and didn't read the instructions properly. But most of the time, trust me, it's the instructions being the instructions. So here we are. We have now completed the engine deck, and we're dry fitting it to the hull. And now let's take the superstructure and the fenders and put them into rough place here. And you'll see once again we are still not where I would like to be with regards to the fit of the fenders. They still are kind of floating on top of the superstructure. I can already tell you that in the end we got there, but I cannot tell you in this here video what exactly the problem was. But I got there in the end, kind of. There's still a couple of issues, but I will mention them again in the final video. And I've already mentioned them before, so you'll see then. But yes, as you can see, the Stug is now, well, taking the shape of a Stug. We have almost built up, I'd say 80% of it. All that's left is the interior, the fighting compartment, and the gun assembly. And then putting on the return rollers and putting on the wheels and the tracks and just some very minute details underneath the fenders, in the back of the tank, and then we're basically there. So yeah, I kind of like the progress we've made so far in the first 6 episodes. And of course there are a couple of things that we should be talking about here and should have been done better by me. And these, there, as you can see there's still the gap. And those fender support struts are still, out of line. And this part right there that I'm highlighting there, I can already tell you, I will be taking this off. Because this just does not belong there for some weird reason. But the instructions don't tell you to take it off. So, this is where we are. And I'll see you soon in the next video to talk about the interior. Until then, thanks for watching. This is how I'm modeling. May the force be with you. And I'll see you guys soon.